Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Brighton Ballers. So all the news has been dominated by this European Super League. Today we've got Brighton. So if we finish fourth, we'll get into the Champions League, but does it matter? Anyway, still have to do a preview on this one. So don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications so you'll be notified every time we make a new video.
Welcome to the Brighton Ballers. Ain't got no time for no stallers, yeah.
We are the risers, we're not the fallers. Our channel is growing wider and taller.
Yeah, we're here to give you the news about your dear beloved Blues, yeah.
So if you like this YouTube channel, like, subscribe and turn on that bell.
Yeah.
So, this Super League is still dominating the news. It's not only on the sports channels, but it's on every single news channel. It's on Good Morning Britain and This Morning, all the channels. So, there is news actually that a couple of teams are maybe getting cold feet. I wonder if it's Chelsea and Manchester City, because they were reluctant to join in the first place. A massive backlash from a lot of the supporters as well. But you know, the Super League, you know, I'll carry on this conversation a bit later, but I'm here to talk about Brighton. And the thing is, let's go back years ago in the 90s. Brighton in the mid-80s were not bad. You know, they're quite an established Division 1 side at the time. Then they got into the final of the FA Cup where they got heavily defeated by Manchester United. Got relegated from Division 1 and stayed in the second division for a while. Then the Premier League came in, and after the Premier League it made it harder for teams like Brighton to get back into the top tier division. So Brighton, I think it's over 20 years before they actually eventually got back to the Premier League. And so why am I talking about that? The reason is because if you look at, if there's like a Super League comes in, it's going to create a bigger divide between the haves and the have-nots. So you're going to have the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, you know, having that higher financial gap than the likes of your Newcastles, your Leicesters. So it'll be harder for them to break through into that elite. I don't mind change. I've been on a few calls yesterday regarding the Super League, and I embrace change, but if it's done in the right way, because UEFA and FIFA have had their own way for a lot of the time, and I do understand the concern of some of these bigger clubs in that UEFA take a lot of money. A lot of money is made from the Champions League, and the distribution of that money isn't fed through in a fair way to the teams who compete, the teams who people pay the money to watch. But there are ways and means of doing things. You know, this exclusivity thing is still something that I do not agree with. You know, no promotions, no relegations, and you just invite 5 teams in every single season. That to me, no, that takes away the competitive edge. I watch football for the competitive edge. Brighton versus Chelsea today. Obviously on paper, Brighton and Chelsea should win this match, but you know, such is the competitive nature of the Premier League that if Brighton win, it's okay, maybe a bit of a shock, but these are the sort of results that happen in the Premier League. We saw it with West Bromwich Albion beating Chelsea 5-2. Yesterday, I witnessed a fantastic game of football between Leeds and Liverpool, where Liverpool were battered in the second half by a brave Leeds United side, and eventually finished 1-1, which is a good result for Chelsea. If the Super League doesn't go ahead, that means that Chelsea have taken one more step into a qualification of the Champions League. So, as I said, take away that competitive nature, and to me, what's the point? What's the point of watching football? Brighton, I'm really impressed with them. Good side, and they play really good football. But the only thing with Brighton is that they haven't got that cutting edge. I've seen many games this season where Brighton have battered the opposition, but when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the net, then they just cannot do it. I was watching the game, I think, against Crystal Palace. I think both games they played against Crystal Palace, their rivals, I think they said it was a startling fact that they had, was it over 50 shots on target in the 2 matches, and Crystal Palace had 3, yet Crystal Palace ended up winning one of the games 1-0, and I think the other game was a 0-0 draw. So that says it all. I saw them against Manchester United as well. Unlucky in that game where they should have got a clear penalty. They didn't. Manchester United got a penalty down the other side, ended up winning that game 2-1. So you're in a battle when you play Brighton. They don't get beaten heavily a lot, you know, and most of their games are really close margins. So we've got to be on top of our game to win this one. I think the wake-up call was against West Bromwich Albion, so I don't think we're going to let standards drop just because Brighton are low down in the table. I think they're 6 points off the relegation battle, so they need to get a result to kind of secure their place in the Premier League. So they've got something to play for, which makes them a more of a dangerous side as well. But I think with West Ham losing at the weekend, with Everton and Tottenham drawing, a win for Chelsea, and we got a bit of daylight between us and some of the other teams. So we win today, and then we beat West Ham on Saturday. All of a sudden, we've opened up a 5-point gap on West Ham, a 4-point gap on Liverpool. So that gives us a little bit of wriggle room going into the last 6 games of the season. Team news, I think Thiago Silva probably won't be playing. Zuma's going to be back, I think, for this game. I think he's going to probably rest Reece James, who's played in the last 2 or 3 games, and bringing Hudson-Odoi down that side. Probably Kante may get a rest because obviously he's played in the last couple of games and he's still nursing that injury that he picked up. So is this going to be a game for Billy Gilmore? Is he going to be trusted, or is Kante going to be fit enough to play the 90? Those are the questions that are going to be answered later on with the team selection. Score prediction. Unfortunately, I haven't got Zane with me today because Zane's at school, so Mr. The mastermind that's picking scores is not around. So I'm going to go for, I think we will win. And I think it'll probably be 2-0. So I'm going for a 2-0 victory for us. So your turn now, guys. Put your comments in the comment section. What do you think the score's going to be? Does this game even matter? Because I'm hearing a lot of people saying, because of all this Super League stories that are going on at the moment, this game is going to be insignificant to some people. For me, it's a Chelsea match. Every Chelsea match is significant to me, but there's some people who are just a bit flat at the moment because of the other news which is dominating the sport. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications so you'll be notified every time we make a video. Until then, bye bye.